really, really nice. It was amazing. I really appreciate it. You have a very big meaning to us in our career. Thank you. And I really thought that riff should have been #1, but that's another story.
It is #1.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. First of all, we'd like to thank Jim Faith and the Long Island Music Hall of Fame Board. I met a few of the members tonight for this tremendous honor. And on behalf of all the members of Dream Theater, John and I would like to say that we're extremely humbled and grateful to be recognized in this capacity. Both of us just grew up a few towns east of here in Kings Park, on the North Shore here, and yes, Kings Park. And the environment that we grew up in had a lot to do with the musicians that we would become. It was a very rich musical environment growing up in suburban Long Island. There were tons of battles of the bands that we were in. We played backyard parties all the time. And it helped us to just cultivate, our music and develop our craft. And I mean, John and I would just, take shopping carts and wheel our amplifiers and guitars to each other's houses, and that's how we did it. And eventually led to a 25-year plus career, which, thank you, which I don't know how that happened, but it did, but we're very grateful for that. And being from Long Island and growing up here, we remember some of the moments, like they were yesterday. Like it's amazing that Fingers is here tonight, because one of my biggest memories is hearing our music played for the first time on the radio on WBAB, listening to Fingers Metal Shop and hearing him say, "Oh yes indeed, Fingers Metal Shop." Yeah. Thank you very much. And his local Ribbit Head was there, and that was the first time we heard our music on the radio, and it meant a lot to us. And we spent, through the years, all of our time just practicing and rehearsing wherever we possibly can on Long Island. It started out in our bedrooms and the basements and garages of our parents' houses in Kings Park. And then we would go on and look for rehearsal places, but nobody would really take us. So we had some funky places. We'd always find a store in a strip mall. Like one time we had, right here in Huntington, Tony Giordano's hair salon. And we rehearsed in the basement of that hair salon. It smelled like perm solution and everything else. And we actually had a showcase for our first record label. They actually came down to the basement of the hair salon, and that's how we got signed, right here in Huntington. So it's pretty funny. There was a pork store in Rockville Center. I think that guy's name was Tony as well, but that was another thing. It always smelled like ground sirloin and garlic down there, but we would practice anyway. We had one real rehearsal place, which was Dare Studios. Where was that, John? Deer Park? Yeah, Deer Park. And so that's how we grew up, kind of rehearsing and stuff. And then, like Fingers mentioned, I remember playing the clubs like it was yesterday. We played, Frank Ariola's Sundance in Bay Shore, the Stage Door in Deer Park, the Right Track Inn in Freeport. And we didn't care how many people were there. We just thought there were 20,000 in the audience. And at one point, you can find it on YouTube. I actually walked right off the stage because I thought the stage kept going. And it wasn't fun. But I think that those experiences on Long Island, playing those clubs and everything, made, now as present-day Dream Theater, standing on the stage at Jones Beach Theater, at Radio City Music Hall, and at Madison Square Garden, just that much sweeter for us as a band. Thank you very much. And another big part of us growing up and our musical influences were all of the bands that we got to see growing up. Like I remember seeing George Cintron play guitar at the Third Rail in St. James, and thinking, oh man, I really want to do that. We'd go to Carol's Place in Island Park and see the band Primo, see Dean Brown and Skylar Deal, just like blow our minds. We'd see Zebra play, of course. I remember watching them just right on the beach playing. And we missed the Dregs at my father's place, unfortunately, but I heard that was awesome too. But there was so much great music for us to be influenced by. And it's also great that Fingers is here, because I think if we grew up somewhere else in the country, we might not have had the same influences of music that we heard on the radio. I mean, for us, we'd hear Rush, we'd hear Yes, ELP, Iron Maiden, Ozzy, Metallica, all that stuff, and as young musicians, that really kind of just soaked into us, and that would be a big part of the style of music that we would eventually write. So, just in closing, I'd just like to thank some of the people that helped us along the way. Our great manager, Frank Solomon, who has such an unselfish dedication. He's awesome. He has such a passion for what we do. Thank you, Frank. And the man responsible for getting us into all those great venues, who's also being inducted tonight, Mr. Steve Martin, our booking agent. Thank you, Steve, so much. And our business manager, Rob Shore, has been with us from the very beginning. Thank you. To our record label, Roadrunner Records, and to all of our families for their love and support. They don't really get to see as much of us as we'd all like to. And last but not least, our great, incredible fans all around the world. Thank you, man. And, playing the kind of music that we play, 20-minute long songs and concept albums about reincarnation, there's no way a band from Long Island with songs called Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper, would be able to make it without our fans. If you meet one of our fans, and I met a lot tonight, they're hardcore, they're diehard, they're serious, and we're very grateful. So again, thank you to Jim and Long Island Music Hall of Fame for this great honor tonight. Thank you.